G'day Internet, Max Wright here with part 6 of the video series, everything you need to know about Bitcoin for newbies, and there's going to be lots of advanced stuff in here too. So if you're new to this series, I'm releasing it one video every single day. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Central Time, so please tune in to the following days. Now, if you haven't, the very first link in the description is the entire video series that we've already covered. So please click on that link next and go and watch the entire video series. Why video series are so powerful? If you start clicking around the internet, clicking around YouTube, reading blogs, there's no structure to it. You're going to get 90% of the same repetition materials, just over and over and over again, hearing the same stuff. By watching a planned out video series like this, in the space of about 90 minutes, you're going to become one of the most knowledgeable people on the planet about Bitcoin and the investment thesis behind it. So if that sounds fantastic, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and you will become a Bitcoin guru in absolutely no time. Now, today's topic is the environmental tailwinds. Now, you might say, Max, hang on, wait a minute. Don't you mean environmental headwinds? Like Elon Musk just sent a tweet about it, saying it was really bad for the environment. And let me catch you up on a little history, and just what's happened in the last few months has blown away to the point where now the environmental concerns around Bitcoin is a massive, massive headwind. You'll understand that in the very near future. And I should say, until this year, I've never, ever, ever included an environmental section on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's never given a damn about the environment. It came into the focus this year because of Elon Musk. And what has transpired over the next few months is absolutely incredible. It looks like Bitcoin has a new third promise to basically solve the world's environmental issues. And you'll understand that very, very shortly. So a little bit of the history here. Elon Musk tweets out, Bitcoin's really bad for the environment. It's a lot of it's creating a lot of pollution. There's a little bit of merit to what he had to say. I didn't think it was a lot of merit, but a little bit. For this reason, 40% of the Bitcoin's mining power, what we call hash power, is in China. Now, let's go back for a few definitions. The mining power, the hash power, what the hell are you talking about, Max? Remember, Bitcoin is a decentralized computer network. My computer can be running Bitcoin software, your computer can be running Bitcoin software, people all over the world can be running computer software. And they're just running this software, they're doing what's called mining. They're providing the computing power to run the entire world's network. That's why Bitcoin is always online, 24/7, the whole world over. It's the most robust network the world has ever seen because there's millions of computers all around the world contributing power to that network. So much so that by orders of magnitude, Bitcoin is the largest computing network in the world. It's not even close. Orders and orders of magnitudes, it is the most powerful, which is one of the reasons it's most secure. The amount of computing power on the planet doesn't exist to fight it because there's just so many people supporting the network. But anyway, those are concepts for another day. So we've got this computing power. 40% of the computing power is in China. Why? China doesn't really give a damn about environmental concerns. It doesn't care. It uses the dirtiest of dirty coal to create electricity, and then it subsidizes it for its people. And some of the cheapest electricity in the world was in China. Hence, there was a lot of mining power in China. The miners just go to wherever there's cheap electricity because by a significant margin, electricity is the cost factor in contributing to the network. The hardware costs very little. What's much more important and much more expensive is the electricity. Hence, cheap electricity, a lot of mining power in China. Then in the Chinese Communist Party, infinite wisdom, they are totally threatened by Bitcoin. How will we steal from our people? How will we trap our citizens and their wealth here? See, one of the ways it's very, very hard to get out of China if you're a citizen of China. But the ones who do manage to get out, they have to leave their wealth back at home. They can't take it with them. It's only the very, very high-end people who are granted that privilege, who are friends of the Chinese Communist Party. The average rank and file struggle to get out of the country. They can't get their wealth out, and if they did get themselves out, they couldn't bring their wealth with them. Bitcoin solves that problem for them. It's a fight against tyranny, very, very powerful one. And China freaked out. They tried to shut it down. Now, if there were no other good solutions, it wouldn't have worked. The mining would have just gone underground in China. But there's lots of good options around the world. And so what happened almost, in a very short span of time, I'll say overnight, but really in a very short amount of time, all the Bitcoin mining power just got turned off in China. And over the next few months, they start sending these mining machines all over the world because there's plenty of other people who would take them, and because it's a very good thing that you want in your country. You'll understand more why in just a minute. Now, quick side note: can you imagine what would happen if 40% of power in Wall Street was knocked out for 2 months? markets would tumble, businesses would be destroyed. It would be absolute carnage. This was the largest migration of computing power in the history of the world, and the Bitcoin network didn't skip a beat. Didn't stop working. It worked perfectly for all users 24/7 the whole time, and it was really a shining moment for Bitcoin in its history about just how robust it is and how impossible it is to shut down. Doesn't matter if you shut down 40% of the network in one day. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The network continues. You can shut down 80%. It'll still work. It's a very, very powerful, robust system. But that's a side note. Okay, environmental issues. So now the mining power gets distributed all over the world, and these mining rigs, they call them, the guys who do it at a professional level, there's big computing things, like it's significant hardware. And they start realizing something very, very important, that there's this beautiful, there's a beautiful problem in the world of the environment, in renewable energy actually specifically, that the world needs to solve. And so here's this problem. Environmental energy, the renewable energy, so we're talking solar, we're talking wind. You know, when the wind dies, there's no energy. When solar dies, there's no sun, and there's a problem, right? Right now, as of today's technology, when the sun is shining, when the wind is blowing, and only when it is created at a time when people need it, then renewable energy is already more profitable than the old fossil fuel versions. The problem is that the fossil fuel versions, you can flip it on and off with a switch, and you don't waste resources when people don't need it, because it's very, very expensive to store that kind of energy. Like the type of energy you need to create for a city, you can't store that amount of energy. You have to create it, and the people have to use it instantly, or else it gets wasted. Right? So if it was possible that there was this other energy, someone else was willing to pay for the energy when the city didn't need it, when they were asleep, during the off-peak times. If somebody else was there to buy all of the energy, that wind and solar and all the other renewable energies, thermal, all of it, if someone was there to buy that, right, when everybody else is asleep and no one else can use it, if you can do it at scale, then all of a sudden, renewable energy, now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, is now more profitable than the fossil fuel versions. In fact, it would be worth it to just massively overproduce the amount of electricity that the people need. Even in the peak, like the busiest part of the day, when it's like, okay, fine, the first 20% of electricity, it can be renewable. But the remaining 80%, it's just at the peak time of the day, right? You have to turn it on for a few hours, and then it has to be turned off. For that, it's very, very costly. You have to go with fossil fuels for that portion of the energy, the peak levels, right? But if someone was there to buy all of the other energy at the rest of the time, it would be definitely profitable for renewable energy sources to just massively overcreate. Just produce enough energy for the peak energy consumption plus another 20%. And what happens is, obviously you see where this is going, the Bitcoin miners are those people. And so during the peak hours, the Bitcoin miners, they might turn their rigs off and they can just buy like 20% of electricity. But in the off-peak times, they can buy 80% of the electricity. And all of a sudden, they've created a 24/7 market for energy production. I can't tell you how huge this is. This is monstrous. This is, all of a sudden, Bitcoin has a third promise. It certainly didn't need it. Its first two promises are absolutely incredible. But it now has a third promise. It promises to massively accelerate the move towards renewable energies. We didn't have to pass any laws. We didn't have to get Congress to steal money from one taxpayer to give to their buddies to go and research technology to do that. The technology right now, today, is already more profitable than fossil fuels if there is someone there to buy it during the off-peak times. And the Bitcoin miners now, all of a sudden, do fill that gap. Because in the world of Bitcoin mining, the physical machines to do the Bitcoin mining, that is a very small portion of your cost. It's the buying of the electricity. That is your very, very high percentage cost. So to buy the machines and let them sit dormant for a few hours a day during peak hours, that's very, very acceptable if you get off-peak energy for the whole rest of the day, the other like 16 hours or whatever it is. And so basically, we are seeing this all over the world. Uh, this is just the other day, August 31st. Excess hydroelectricity from the Clyde Dam in New Zealand will be used for Bitcoin mining. The magic word here is excess, right? What they're talking about there is all of the off-peak energy because it was just getting wasted. As a result, there was no point in them creating more electricity from this dam. But because of this, all of a sudden, there will be. We are about to live in an energy abundant world. My prediction, my anticipation, is our human usage of electricity is going to become rather insignificant to how much electricity we produce because it's going to be free to produce it, right? It's going to be profitable, better than free, it's going to be profitable to produce it. It's going to be profitable to produce an excess of energy. And every single one of us, the poorest people on the planet, are going to get subsidized by Bitcoin to get cheaper energy. This is just absolutely mind-blowing. As if Bitcoin didn't need more tailwinds, it now solves another massive problem for some people in the world. Some people don't care about it. Some people do. About the environmental issues. Certainly, every government in the world seems to care about it. So this is just literally mind-blowing. And the environmental issues have never been a part of a Bitcoin presentation ever until this year. And then it was this like annoying thing from Elon Musk, 2 months of like negativity. And then it turns out Bitcoin is our greatest hope of 100% green energy in a very, very near future. Without any coercion, without any Paris Climate Accords, without governments getting involved. They'd only hurt it anyway. None of their things actually helped. And all of a sudden, the free market's just going to solve this problem. It's mind-blowingly exciting. So guys, let me know in the comments below. Do you think that this is a legitimate tailwind for Bitcoin? Can it solve this environmental problem? Do you think it's going to make it a lot easier for people to get on board knowing that they're helping the environment every single time they use Bitcoin? They're helping a rapid march towards renewable energy. Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to find that out. Now, tomorrow we move on to the next section of this series. That video is going to be released at 10 a.m. Central Time. Please subscribe to the channel and join us here live so that I can be in the chat rooms chatting to you and answer your questions as you go along. So please like this video, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.